Hi everyone, this is Dr Lise Saugeres from Mindfully Serene, also known as the Mindfulness Diva. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with distractions. And I will give you 7 tips so that you can be more focused. So these days it's so easy for us to get distracted. Because of the technology, there's so many things that can take our attention away from what we're doing. Of course, mobile phones, we might be doing some work and suddenly we get a text message and it's really, really hard not to answer it if we get our phone near us, and often we do, or a message on Facebook, and that's it, it's taking our attention away. There's of course other distractions for our thoughts, because as we know, the mind loves being in the past, thinking about things that happened, or worrying about what might or might not happen in the future. So our thoughts as well, of course, prevent us from being in the present moment and distract us from what we're doing. We can spend quite a lot of time and energy lost in our thoughts as well. And of course, other types of distractions. I mean, there are some things that we avoid doing at times, whether it's doing our taxes, that's something that I tend to avoid, or doing, something with numbers, or doing some type of work that you don't like doing, like, admin or something on the computer. There's always some things as part of what we do, whether we have our own business or not, that we don't like doing, and we can always find ways of getting distracted, so we don't do it, we postpone it. So in that case, it could be any kinds of distractions. Might go food, it could be cleaning, it could be anything to avoid doing something. But when we get distracted, it's really, it can be such a waste of time and energy. It really reduces our ability to get things done and therefore be productive. And as a result, we can sometimes feel really bad about it. We feel guilty because we plan to do all this work that day, we plan to do all these things, and suddenly we were so distracted that we weren't able to, and then we give ourselves a hard time about it, and then we end up being stressed as a result. And then that's going to, again, distract us from what we're doing. And also, of course, when we get distracted a lot, we cannot fully appreciate what's going on in the present moment. And it's so important to be fully here and now in the present moment, because that's all there is. When it's gone, the present moment is gone, well, it's no longer here. So that's why it's so important to be here right now. So I'm going to give you 7 tips to help you be more focused. So first is do one thing at a time and avoid multitasking. We've all been there, myself included, thinking, oh, I've got so much to do right now. Okay, I've got to do this email. Oh yes, I also have to to type this. I also need to, to find something that I've been looking for. And suddenly you try to do 2 or 3 or 4 things at the same time. And what happens? Well, usually it's not being very efficient. It's not really working very well. So it's really important to really bring yourself to one thing that you're doing in the moment and just doing that right now, just doing that task. So the second tip is to really bring yourself back to the present moment during the day as much as possible. And in order to do that, it's about doing something mindfully, which means really any kind of everyday activity. You can do it by grounding yourself in the body sensations. So it could be, you could just grab a pen, for example, and just feeling the sensations of your fingers and hand along the surface of the pen, or it could be just even typing and just really feeling the sensations of the fingers as you're typing and in your hands and arms. Or it could be anything else, sipping water and just what it feels like as you're swallowing, and the feeling of the water in your mouth, and then as you're swallowing. So you can do that with anything, of course, with having a snack, with so many different things. You can do that throughout the day. It doesn't take very long. So just make sure that it really brings you back to the present moment. When you become aware that you are distracted, it's about bringing yourself back to the present moment without judgment, because we're so good at judging ourselves. And that's not helpful at all. So just saying, okay, well, I was distracted just now. That's okay. Just coming back right now. And if a judgment comes in, just noticing but letting it go, which is, of course, what we practice with mindfulness. The more you practice mindfulness regularly, the easier that gets. Also, the fourth tip is to connect with the breath regularly in the day. So of course, if you're meditating, even if you meditate for 10 or 15 minutes in the morning, it's still good to be able to connect with the breath and bring yourself back, even if it's just for 1 minute. 1 minute, if you can do 1 minute an hour, or even start with just 3 times a day initially. But just watching the movement of the breath, and again, without judgment, letting thoughts go. It's really going to help you being more focused. I mean, for me, it's made such a difference. I used to be so distracted, and it could really be a problem. Some days I couldn't, really do the work that I wanted to do. I was so distracted. And now I'm so much more focused. Another thing, and tip number 5, it's tuning in rather than tuning out. So what does that mean? Well, when we get distracted, we start thinking about something, or it could be that a noise, sound is distracting us, or people talking in the other room, and we might just tune out as a result. We're like somewhere else. Well, instead of that, just tuning in. So really just noticing the sound. Where is it near? Is it far? So the quality of the sound that you're hearing. Just being really fully present right now with what's going on around you. Tip number 6 is schedule breaks during the day. And also, so for example, I'm going to be working now for 45 minutes an hour, and then I'll have a 5-minute break. And doing that, I found, is also really helpful. So you're basically allowing yourself, you're giving yourself permission to have that break, and then come back, and you can again do something mindfully to make, or connect with the breath to make yourself be back in the present moment, and that will really help you be more focused when you go back to work. Something else, if you find yourself avoiding doing things, if there is a pattern, some things that you do tend to postpone, it's also a good idea to keep a journal, so that you become aware. It always starts with awareness, because we can't change what we're not aware of. So becoming aware of the things you tend to avoid, and then if there's a pattern there, to understand what's going on. So just to recap the tips I've given you. So number 1, just do one thing at a time, avoid multitasking. Second, bring yourself back to the present moment as much as possible during the day, whether it is by doing an activity mindfully, grounding yourself in the body. Or number 3, when you become aware of distraction, bring yourself back to the present moment without judgment. Number 4, connect with the breath regularly. Number 5, tune in rather than tune out. 6, schedule regular breaks during the day. And 7, keep a journal if there's things that you tend to avoid doing as a pattern. Okay, well, that's it for me today. I hope that's been helpful. If you'd like a free 20-minute discovery session with me via phone, just to see if I can help you being more focused, dealing with stress, and just have more peace and joy in your life, then send me a PM. Have a good evening, and see you later. Bye.